Welcome to the May market report. This is where I'm going to review the April stats and put them all into context for you. So I'm looking at a lot of different reports being published right now from various different sources, and depending on what source you're plugged into, you're getting some potentially misleading information. So my hope with this video is to put a lot of what's going on in our Nanaimo real estate market into perspective. I'm going to start with a brief look at the numbers, and then I'll put them into context for you. If we want to look at the big news story right now, is everyone is noticing a lot more for sale signs going up. Even seeing some price adjustments, and maybe not seeing the sold signs go up quite as quickly as they're used to over the last 24 months. And to that effect, we have seen an increase in units listed in the single family front here in Nanaimo, with an increase in listings this month over last of about 7% more listings. That said, year to date, we're down about 12% overall. Okay, if we want to look at a more important number, which is units reported sold this month last year, there was 157 sales in April 2021, and April of this year there was 150 sales. So we're only down less than 5% in units reported sold in April. So maybe an indication of what's to come, but certainly not an indication that we've changed from a seller's market to a buyer's market. In fact, if we look at the stats in just about every product and price category, you're going to find that we are still firmly in seller's market conditions. And to that effect, I'm saying we've gone from ultra extreme seller's market conditions to seller's market conditions. Even if you look up as high as the $2 million price category, you'll see that we've just touched into, as of last month, into balanced market conditions that are at the low end of balance. So almost still a seller's market even in that product category. So what's going on? Here's my take. Really, we're looking at a part of a natural economic cycle wherein we've had year-over-year appreciation of almost 34%. In fact, 12 months to date, we're up 27% over last year. This time last year, the average price was $668, and now we're pushing $853,000. So 30% up year over year. What we're finding is when people are moving to market now, is they're pricing it to what the market is now. And as we get to an average house price that starts to touch in on $1 million, there's far less people that are ready, willing, and most importantly, able to make an investment at that price point. So where prices are higher, which means less people can afford to get in. Rising interest rates always take a certain percentage of buyers that are going to go and wait and see what happens. If they're waiting for a crash, if they're waiting for prices to come down, I think they could be waiting a long time. This increase in inventory right now is really a fairly predictable outcome. If you think about those that hold the nicest homes in the nicest neighborhoods here in Nanaimo, these are established individuals that are generally able to sell when they want, not when they have to. And if we think about the last 2 years during COVID lockdown times, those of us that live here know during a lockdown, there is nowhere better than central Vancouver Island during COVID. And so those people were staying put, understandably. Now that COVID has released its grip on us, we're starting to see those islanders start to make some plans to move, and they're moving to market. People that can choose when to sell will typically choose May and June here in Central Island. Why? Because it's warm enough to paint, it's warm enough to pressure wash, the shrubs are mature, the privacy is at its highest. So for anyone that can make a strategic decision around when the best time to sell their home is here in Central Island, it's almost always May and June. People selling outside of those times, except maybe September, October being an exception, are generally selling because there's something driving that sale price to that time of year. So hopefully that puts some of this into perspective. The market has cooled slightly. It is still very much favoring sellers. Is there a panic to get your home on the market? I'm not seeing it. Certain products, certain price categories, certain features now may be a great time to look at selling. But overall, really it's a time to get your ducks in order, figure out precisely where you want to get to from where you are now. And once we have that information, or we can work with you to reveal that information, then you can put together the plan that's the best time to sell. So don't panic. You can still make a thoughtful decision around relocation, and we are here to help guide that decision. If you're looking for market information, this is the spot. Follow this video, subscribe to the newsletter, check into our content. We're going to release one of these every month where we can put the market stats into perspective for you. I'm John Cooper with the John Cooper Real Estate Group, eXp Realty, and we are ready when you are.